Thanks for joining us today at Unstuck Your Business Podcast.
You went into business with a passion to explore your skills and talents and show the world what you can do to contribute into our society and into our economic ecosystem. But a couple of years into the business and your drive and motivation has dwindled, and now you feel stuck.
When you find yourself at this crossroad of thoughts and emotions, how do you deal with it? In this podcast, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of entrepreneurship to help you unstuck your business. We are your hosts, Inés Nazario Vega from Business Essentials Virtual Assistants.
And Edith Duran from Reason Marketing.
Welcome back to Unstuck Your Business. Today, we have a very special guest who's going to help us put our best face forward, literally. But let's be real, as small business owners, we often face numerous challenges in presenting a polished and professional image. From tight budgets and inconsistent branding to the overwhelming nature of social media and the discomfort of being in front of the camera, it's easy to let visual branding fall by the wayside. That's where our guest comes in.
Karen Kurta is a corporate photographer and headshot expert and the driving force behind Karen K Photo right here in Orlando, Florida. With over a decade of experience and a background in marketing and design, Karen specializes in creating visual stories for businesses and professionals. From headshots to corporate events, branding, and even architectural photography, Karen and her team are dedicated to providing a stress-free experience and delivering high-quality, polished images that truly capture the essence of your brand. She's a certified woman-owned small business, and she's here to share her expertise on how professional photography can elevate your business and help us overcome those visual branding hurdles. Welcome to Unstuck Your Business, Karen. We're so happy to have you. And would you mind introducing yourself to our audience, telling us a little bit about you and your business?
Sure. Hi, I'm Karen with Karen K Photo. Well, you pretty much summed it up. I specialize in photography for business. I'm a former marketer and graphic designer, so I use that knowledge in making sure that I'm able to craft exactly the images you need for your brand versus some images that may or may not work. So that's a little bit about me.
I have to add, I think this is an important detail that Karen is also the president-elect for the NABO Orlando chapter. So congratulations on that. I'm really excited for you and your new coming in. I mean, you've been involved for so long. That's how we met. So
yeah,
I'm excited for what's to come for you.
Yeah, it's I officially start transitioning in June, so it's right around the corner.
Congratulations, Karen. That's awesome. And for the benefit of our audience, what is the organization? What does it do?
It's the National Association of Women Business Owners, and it's the Orlando chapter. So there's a national organization and there's a local chapter. And we are here to support women business owners, all stages of business, make sure their voice gets heard in Washington, make sure we have seats at the table in crucial discussions, make sure we're educated, we know how to run our business, and make sure we have a community that's built for support. Because, a lot of times when you're owning a business, you're on an island by yourself, but you don't have to be. So
yes,
that's what NABO's all about.
That's excellent. Like I said, that's how Karen and I first met, and learning from other women business owners is just so crucial to success, because you do feel like you're siloed when you're, working behind the desk with your own ideas. And when you can share that and brainstorm with other women, it's just, it's an incredible boost.
I'm just 100% curious. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm very curious. How many chapters does the organization has today?
Oh, that's a darn good question. I'm not sure how many chapters. They're scattered all over the U.S. We have 3 in Florida. We have a South Florida. We have Lakeland and Tampa area, and we have Orlando. But they're scattered throughout the U.S. There's chapters everywhere.
All right. I was just curious because maybe we should have a chapter in Puerto Rico when I go.
Maybe we do have
Mm.
some international pull with some collaborations with different international organizations too. I know Puerto Rico's not international, but yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Karen, thanks again for being with us. I know that we're getting like right off topic for this podcast, but I just found it interesting that you just have became president of a business organization. So besides photography, you are really embedded in the business community. And that's what this podcast is about, is to help our small business community. So very quickly, Karen, many small businesses like myself, here in Central Florida and all over, we operate on tight budgets. We don't have the deep pockets as corporations would have. What's your advice on prioritizing professional photography and branding photography? What is some cost-effective ways that we could get started?
Right. I understand,
Mm.
photography can be expensive. So obviously you want to do it and you want to do it right. But investing in brand photography, if you do a brand with a professional brand photographer who understands the questions to ask and understands how to get you the variety of images you need, one brand session can give you a year's worth of images. You don't have to do them every 5 minutes. You can do them once a year or every couple of years and get a fresh set of images and minimize costs that way. If you're just starting out, the best advice is to make sure you have a quality headshot, at least one, probably several, especially if you're doing things like public speaking or different advertising type of things. So not everybody's seeing the same picture of your face all the time. But a headshot's the first place to start, and then it just goes from there. So as your business grows, then you need more variety in images because you're doing different things and reaching out to different people.
So would you say that in one session, perhaps take how many photos are included in one session? I guess is the question. Because I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe I just need like 12 photos or
Yeah.
24 photos for the
So
year.
I have several different sessions depending what you need. For businesses starting out, I have a package that starts with 10 photos, and we make sure we capture 10 photos that are something you need. So maybe, yes, some will be a headshot, some might be an environmental portrait, some might be of your office or you working in the office or working with clients. We make sure we get the key images that you need. Again, it's customized for every business. Every business has different needs. So we work on getting the main marketing images you're going to use, and you can use those for a lot of different things. And then I have packages that go up. So I have a 25 image package, and then I have a full branding package that includes more images than you'll probably ever need. And that's for those people who are social media influencers and stuff like that. So, it's different needs for different people.
Karen, I totally agree with what you're saying with just having that professional headshot, at least starting there. But more than that, you want to take your own photography into your online presence, like your
Yep.
website and your profile images. Being in marketing myself and as part of the agency, I see a lot of clients want to just turn to stock photography. And I try to not lead them in that direction, or at least maybe it's a temporary fix because we're trying to get this website done. But maybe you can add to that conversation. How important is it to have those professional headshots that are personalized, current, branding photos for, how important is that for a small business owner's website and social media and online presence?
Well, when you're just starting out, stock photos work just fine. Obviously, you're trying to get a basis from which to start from. But once you've been around a while and you're trying to attract either a more specific clientele or a higher end clientele, that's when you need to get something that's unique to you. So you're not going to stand out using the same photos that are available to anybody and everybody. You're going to stand out by using photos that nobody else has. And that's usually a brand photography shoot. It includes you or your people or your office or the things that you do, your clients. all of the things that are specific to you. The goal is to make people be able to instantly envision working with you. And the best way to do that is with authentic photography of you doing what you do best. So yeah, when you're starting out, stock photos, they're a dream. But once you get to a certain point, you're gonna need to raise your game a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, agreed. And what about keeping them current? Because I see this a lot, and I don't mean to make light of it, but even you know how everyone's using digital business cards nowadays, and I'm meeting them in person, and then I get their digital card, and it like, you know, it's almost like, who is this person? I remember
Yes.
your face.
Oh my God. I always tell people you don't want someone's first impression of you to be, that's not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Like, that is a horrible first impression. And I know, for women, we change our look a lot more often than men do. I know I was in the commercial real estate industry for a while, and some of the brokers are using like 20-year-old headshots, and I'm like, you don't look like that anymore. So, you don't want to start with a disconnect, right? But, for headshots, usually every couple of years is a good, to get a refresh, unless, of course, you're someone who changes your look a lot or, is doing something completely different. Usually you can update your images every couple of years and still keep everything fresh. If you have to start out with something, start off with one good headshot. If you have more resources, you want to have a variety of images so you're not having everybody see the same image of you every single time. It just gives a little bit more variety and gives people a little bit more information about you.
Yes, I mean, I am, I'm, I don't want to say I'm guilty of that per se, because my photo, I think they're like 2 years old. I did a photo session with this young lady, John Becerra, about 2.5 years ago. But I don't like cameras, Karen.
Oh,
I don't like cameras. I don't like video cameras. Edith can attest to this. We try to do our own little phone
Photo
camera
session.
session.
yep.
And I'm like looking at myself and like, oh, I really dislike doing this.
Yep.
So I guess the question is, how do you help people overcome that? I don't know if it's to call it fear. It's just something that I don't necessarily enjoy.
Yeah, that's very common. I don't often get someone that comes to me for a headshot saying, "Yay, I'm so happy I'm getting a headshot taken." So, that's just par for the course. But so the first thing I do is I put myself in front of the camera so I know what it feels like, right? So when I ask you to do something, I know exactly what I'm asking you to do, and I know it's not going to be comfortable or normal, or you never stand in a pose position like you would for a headshot. Nobody does that. But I try to make light of it, and I try to make it fun, and I try to mix things up, and I'm not afraid to act like a complete idiot in order to get a genuine smile. So, it's just how that works. But yeah, it's not uncommon to be or not know what to do in front of the camera. That's my job, is to coach you on how to pose and make sure the lighting is good and make sure that I put you at ease in front of the camera. And that's one of the things I'm really good at.
And that's important. I think, in my case, a lot of people have said, the more you sit in front of the camera, the more comfortable you're going to become. And it's very effective for
Yep.
marketing purposes to be in social media as yourself versus
Yep.
just
Absolutely.
putting just the captions of somebody else's photo. So, do you provide like any courses of techniques people should use when they're doing it for themselves? Let's say like doing reels and things of that nature.
Yeah. It's funny. I video is not that's not my favorite thing to do either. Reels and I don't always get along, but every week I do a Tuesday tip session, and I just basically talk in front of the camera. And sometimes it's scripted, sometimes it's off the cuff, whatever. Yeah, I will say that the more you do it, the easier it gets. But keep things simple in the beginning. I mean, if you're starting out trying to do something, you're not going to be doing this film quality reel or whatever your first time out of the gate. It's going to be awkward. There's a saying in photography that says your first 10,000 images are your worst. And that applies to just about anything because the more you do it, the better you get. So
Mm-hmm.
now I can talk in front of a camera, no problem. But when I started out, I was awkward, just like everybody else. So the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. Be careful with lenses too, because a super wide angle lens can accentuate things that you don't want it to accentuate. In general, what's closest to the camera is going to appear larger, and what's further away is going to appear smaller. So make sure you're conscious of the camera angle when you're doing things, and you'll always look your best.
Mhm.
That's a
Do
good, for
you
sure.
have any suggestions on, somebody that's trying to put together their brand, their personal brand or their company brand, and maybe they're having trouble identifying really what it is that they want to um, represent? And by that I mean like the personality. Do they want to be casual? Do they want to be professional? Do they want to be, just approachable? Like, do you have a process for helping people identify that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all of the brand sessions start out with a meeting, a planning session, if you will, or I ask a ton of questions because I want to get to know your brand too. But what I find is that a lot of people don't have a firm idea of who they're talking to.
Mm,
And that's the difference between how you want to come off. Like for a photographer, if I'm talking to someone about headshots, I'm talking differently than if I'm talking to a construction firm about architectural photography. So you have to know who you're talking to in order to know what you want that voice to be or what you want all that to be. And a lot of times people skip that in the planning part. As I'm sure, Edith, you're aware, doing marketing and everything, people don't often want to do the hard work before, but I kind of make them. So, because
mhm,
we can't get the right photography if we don't have a good idea of who you're talking to and what you're trying to convey.
mhm,
I think that's interesting because yeah, photography is communication. And
Yep.
if the same way that you will give your elevator speech to your target audience, you want that photography to be your elevator speech to
mhm,
the audience.
Exactly. People interpret photography, they say 60,000 times faster than text. So you can get a
Hmm.
message across with a picture way faster than you can by words or speaking to someone. So it becomes a very important part of your branding package.
Hi, I'm Edith, owner of Riza Marketing, a boutique marketing agency in Orlando, Florida, where we have a small but mighty team dedicated to helping service businesses dominate in the Central Florida market. We begin by helping you discover your own secret sauce. You know, that one special something only you offer and your ideal clients love you for it. When you take pride in the service you offer and the experience you provide, but feel your marketing message isn't resonating with the right audience, we can help. When you're at a loss for creating advertising that evokes emotion and prompts action, we can help. Or if releasing viewer-worthy content with consistency is an ongoing challenge, we can help. Riza Marketing helps you define your unique flair and deliver creative content on a dependable schedule. Online marketing is easy when you have a team of pros by your side. If you're ready to make marketing fun again, then visit our website, rizamarketing.com. That's RIZA marketing.com, and schedule your free discovery call today.
One of the things that we see also is that people like myself that don't like to be in front of the cameras may use somebody in their staff or may use even some stock images, AI images, whatever, to do the recording or the photography for us. What is your take on that?
For certain businesses, I mean, if you have a team of people that your clients are interacting with, absolutely,
Mhm.
everybody's the face of your business, right? So, if that's how your business is structured, then yeah, that makes perfect sense having team
Mhm.
photos. Everybody having a consistent headshot that looks like one cohesive team, that can go a
Mhm.
long way to creating trust with people because
Mhm.
if everybody looks, polished and professional and together in the same style, it gives a better feeling about the kind of service you're going to get from someone. So
Mhm.
that can make a big difference. And the same thing with branding photos. If you work with a team of people, then show your team because people want to
Mhm.
see who they're going to be working with, and it creates that trust factor in the best way possible and the quickest way possible because people see the people and then they go to your business and they're like, oh, hey, I already kind of know that person, even though
Mhm.
they really don't. But
Mhm.
it gives a perception that they do, and it's trust is a big deal when you're trying to create a brand.
Yeah, for me, I find it a little bit of a challenge because my team is all over the place.
Yep.
I have people in Canada, Seattle, Washington, upstate New York, Venezuela. So capturing that one consistent image throughout, it's a little bit of a challenge. What we have done is we put the same background on the pictures that they send
Yep.
me. But is there any way that one can perhaps overcome that when the team is remote?
Absolutely. So I always recommend setting a standard for your photography with your brand, right? So let's just take headshots, for example. You're the head of the business. You have a photographer do a headshot and you like the style, you like the background, you like everything. So diagram a standard for that. Say it has to be lit this way. It has to be this color backdrop. It should be this much cropped. It should include the shoulders in the picture. It should not be completely straight on. You should be at a slight angle. Specify all of those things. And then
Mhm.
each one of your people has the brand standards to go by. A professional brand or headshot photographer should be able to follow a brand standard and get pretty darn close to what it is supposed to look like. That's how the big corporations do it. They all have brand standards, and you can do that very easily in your own business.
Mm.
Interesting. Is there like a little questionnaire form or a form that I can print
I
and
I
send
can
out?
probably come up with one. Yeah.
What
Yeah, I could
what
probably
would
come up with
be
one.
what would be an example of something that would be on a brand standard?
So as far as headshots go, so definitely specifying the color of the background, including supplying that maybe, let's say you have, okay, so I have one client that has an outdoor background, but that outdoor background is from like, I don't even know where. So they wanted to match that background. So I found a stock photo that was similar. I made it look as close as possible as I could to that. And then that is now the background of all the pictures. So it doesn't matter, we capture them half the time. I capture them on a white background and add them to this outdoor background like they were there. But if you know how to light that properly, it all works. So then all of their, doesn't matter what office they're in, all of their pictures are the same because they look the same on the same background and they're lit from the same direction. So I've got clients that go to several different offices of theirs. They have offices all over Florida. I travel to each office and I know that those pictures are going to look the same because I have their brand standards and I follow them and they specify what angle, where the light's supposed to be, what color the backdrop is, what kind of pose they're supposed to have. Are they allowed to have arms crossed or not? Some clients are more specific than others, but you just decide what you want to be a standard and you set it and then it becomes a standard.
Awesome. So is it fair to assume that you do also do Photoshop just to meet the standard in the brand if there's a team?
Absolutely. All of my headshots include retouch. Well, let me put it this way. Most of the headshots I do for individuals include retouching because there's always some aspect of something. We want to get rid of the stray hairs. We want to make you look your absolute best. And a lot of times that includes making, like I have clients that's from banks and from commercial construction companies and things like that that will send people to me as they hire them. And so I have to make sure everything matches the previous pictures I've delivered. So there's always some degree of Photoshop and some degree of retouching involved in that to make sure everybody looks polished, even if they don't come in at the same time.
Okay. Can I, going on a whim here, are you using any AI technology also in this processes now that it's become a big thing that has been used in videos, photos?
Yeah. I use AI for retouching to speed up retouching. Speed up workflows is mostly what I use AI for. I use it in my marketing. I have a chat GPT that I programmed with my business branding that I use for all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm just starting to use it for like research and things like that. I haven't even crossed that bridge yet. But for photography itself, I don't generate images in AI. I use it to speed up what I'm doing in AI. So there's a lot of retouching that can be done with AI software.
And the reason I ask is because I recently attended a 2-hour AI workshop, and
Hmm.
they did a lot of fancy stuff with just one photo.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God, that is crazy.
Yeah.
All these different backgrounds, or even uh, uh, tilting the photo so it looks different from different angle. And it was just, wow. I was
Yeah.
super
For
impressed.
individuals, that can be fun, right? I mean, individuals playing with AI for photos it's fun, but it's also time consuming, and it's
It
not,
is.
accomplishing necessarily the best use of your time, right?
Mhm.
So, for individuals that want to play with that kind of thing, that's great. And there's certainly a way to do that, and a way to do that pretty darn well, the way
Mhm.
technology is progressing. But a lot of my clients are bigger companies that have large amounts of people. And when you start multiplying that by how many people, it starts taking up time and being another part-time job, and they don't want to do
Mhm.
that. So it's best to work with a photographer that can streamline systems and do things like that and get the consistent look that you want without having to, play games with all of that stuff. But, it can certainly be fun. I haven't played with my own, but it can be fun.
I can see that. I can see that. So,
Yeah. Oh,
go ahead.
go ahead.
Liz. You look like
When
you
it,
have a question.
yeah, well, something that comes to mind because you mentioned that a lot of your clients have a larger team, and it makes me think of the opposite of the solopreneur, or the person that is completely virtual, but the background is always your office, and
Yeah.
you're behind the desk. So that idea of AI makes me think that's a way to make your setting a little bit more interesting than, your office space. And so I'm wondering
Yeah.
if you have any tips for, the solopreneur that just wants to get a few snaps for social media and what they're doing, today.
Yeah, I mean, you can switching out a backdrop is relatively simple if you want to change up where you're. So I I do this thing I call composite photography, and so one of my clients in particular is a law firm, and they've had people come in and out. There's turnover these days. Unfortunately, people come and go. But so we started doing composite photography, and what we do is we photograph them on a white background in a number of different poses, and then we can combine them into different things as we need them, or take someone out, put someone else in, and then we can switch out the backdrop and do whatever. So that is an actual service I provide for some of my clients, because rather than having to reshoot group photos every time one person changes, we can do that digitally, and we don't have to worry about scheduling photo shoots every single time or whatever. Just schedule the one person instead of having to get everyone together. So that there's options for that as well. But it's a matter of how genuine it looks, right?
Right.
So if authenticity cannot be underestimated, people can tell an inauthentic photo from a mile away. I
Mhm.
don't know how, it's a superpower, who knows? But yeah, so it's just one of those things. It depends how important authenticity is to your brand.
Mm.
Yes, I can see that. I can see that. And I'm just curious in terms of authenticity. I'm one that I've always like, oh, the makeup and the hair and the clothing that you wear for the photo shoots. You know, what is your recommendation to not worry about those things so much that prevents you from doing the photo?
Well, I have a couple of solutions for that. Number one is good lighting. Good lighting can fix a lot of things.
Hmm. All right, all
The
right.
other thing is I do work with hair and makeup artists, and so we can schedule a hair and makeup artist to come in for your session and make you look
Perfect.
fabulous before we even start shooting. And believe me, that comes in handy in this Florida humidity
Hmm.
a lot.
That's true because you can
You can
come
step
out of the house
outside.
looking really nice, and then before you get to the
Uh-huh.
studio,
Yeah,
it's all
I
over the
know.
place.
That's my problem in the summer. I just tie my hair up. It's just easier. But so yeah, so there are several options to deal with it. I usually give people tips before they're coming for the thing as far as if they're doing their own makeup to, apply it a little heavier than they normally do because the lights are going to make it wash out a little bit. You know, um, my makeup artist swears by fake eyelashes for every photo shoot, and it really does make a difference. It's the wildest thing, but just little weird stuff like that can make a big difference depending on what you want to do.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Karen, just in the interest of time here for our podcast, what would you say are the main three takeaways for our listeners from this discussion?
Three takeaway. I mean, pay attention to the visuals you're using and the message that they're giving to your audience. Are they saying the right thing? If you're using a stock photo, is that saying the right thing that you want your potential customers to hear? And if not, then you need to take a look at that. If you're on a limited budget, start with a quality headshot. You can get really far with a quality headshot if you're budget conscious. And make sure you know who you're talking to. I mean, a great brand photography shoot depends on who you're trying to connect with, and as much as your marketing plan does. And make sure that you know who you're talking to, and then we can craft photography that works with your brand instead of trying to make something fit.
Hmm.
Wonderful, wonderful. And what would you say, for the audience, for the small business audience, um, to budget for, even if it's a headshot, what is the average budget that one should have for to get started?
So my headshot sessions start at 275, and they go up from there depending how many images you need, how many outfits we want to try, that different thing. There's branding packages out there for every budget, and depending on your needs and whatever. And sometimes you need to start with just a basic package and get your feet wet, if you will.
Hmm.
The benefit of working with me is I am also a graphic designer, so I can show you how to get the most bang for your buck with your with your images because
Yes,
I
yes.
can change stuff around and show you how to make it work. So, you can make 10 images seem like they're a lot more, but
Hmm.
Yeah. And I think we also need to highlight to the business owner, this is a marketing expense. You're not doing
Yes.
uh-huh,
this for
that's
personal
right.
reasons. Because sometimes
Mhm.
people say, oh, it's just photo. No, this is a marketing investment. I wouldn't even
Absolutely.
call it an expense. It's a marketing investment that it can bring you some good return on investment.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yep.
Mm. Well, thank you so much for being with us. Karen, where can our audience connect with you?
You can connect with me. My website is karenkphoto.com. And you can connect with me on Instagram at Karen K Photo. I'm on LinkedIn at Karen K Photo, and I'm on Facebook at Karen Kurta Photo because for some reason I couldn't get the Karen K. But but yeah, Instagram is a good place to connect with me, Karen K Photo. Yeah, I'm on social media all the time, so.
Awesome,
All
awesome.
right.
Well, thank you
And
again for being in our podcast, Karen. I really enjoy this conversation. Probably I'll do my next session with Karen.
Perfect. Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
yes, thank you so much, Karen. If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, we want to thank you. Let us know what you think about today's topic by leaving us a comment and a review of our podcast.
And if you found some value on the information shared in this podcast, please subscribe and share. And you can find us on our Facebook page, Unstuck Your Business, and join the conversation and engage with other entrepreneurs as together we help each other unstuck our business. Until next time.
Until next time.